Hey everybody, welcome to Take the Stage Voice Studio. Today we're going to be defining a lot of different words that can be used in vocal technique. And we will be using video clips, some visual aids behind me, and some different things to help you to gain some context about these words, and so that you can know why you're making the sounds that you're currently making and how to start engaging the right muscles to make the sounds that you do want to make. So let's get into it. Here in this top corner, you see that I have listed some things about chest voice. Now, the term chest voice is already a confusing term because it doesn't happen in the chest. But it's a very widely used term. Chest voice is essentially a set of muscles in the larynx called the thyroarytenoid muscles, or the TA muscles. And those are primarily used to help you to have some of the qualities of chest voice listed here. Shoutiness, brightness, and clarity. And those are things that really help an opera singer to be able to project their voice to sound really exciting and to have a thrilling voice. So what do these words actually mean? Well, we're going to need to use some words and some oral clips to help us to gain some context around what we're talking about. So let's go ahead and listen to a clip of someone who uses these words to personify the strength, brightness, and clarity of the chest voice. Notice how the vowels that this singer uses are clear, projected, strong, and bright, and helping them to have more of a chiaroscuro sound that we love to talk about in classical singing. Now, on the other hand, we're going to come down into this corner and we'll talk about what I like to call fake chest voice. Now, a singer down here may be engaging their thyroarytenoid muscles, but they haven't developed the muscle to its fullest extent to be able to really project and have the shouty clarity that we love to hear in singers. So sometimes they'll have to use other muscles to try to compensate for their weakness, and they'll end up with some other characteristics that might imitate the brightness and the clarity and the shoutiness of chest voice, but aren't really the real thing. And a lot of times these singers will end up with sounds that are nasal, squeezed, pinched, tight, and some other things that there are lots of words that we can use to describe this. Now let's listen to an example of a singer who is using fake brightness and clarity, or what's really called nasality or pinched vowels, to make their voice feel like it's brighter. And like I said, these sounds down here can help a singer to feel like they are using their chest voice. They might feel like their vowels are brighter, they might feel like they're projecting more, but they're using inefficient muscles, and that will cause more and more tension down the road. So let's take a step over and look on these other quadrants and see some other muscles that we use in singing. In this top corner, we are going to be talking about the muscles that are responsible for the head voice. They're also known as the cricothyroid or the CT muscles. These muscles help to stretch, okay? And when you use these muscles to the fullest extent, they help to open the throat and they help you to have a sound that is hooty, deep, and dark. And those qualities, especially, we'll talk about when combined with the bright, shouty clarity of the chest voice, is really what we're going for. So let's go ahead and listen to an example of somebody who has really strong, hooty, deep head voice muscles. Notice how their sound is really open, dark, even cavernous, but when done well, it doesn't sound swallowed, because singers who really develop these muscles and these muscles have a great balance in their voice. Now, on the other hand, from this deep, dark sound, there are ways to imitate that, just like there were on this other side, okay? So people who haven't fully developed this hooty, deep, dark part of their voice, again, they might still be engaging their cricothyroid muscles, but not to the fullest coordinated extent that someone who has really developed their muscles is doing, and they'll end up with some of these sounds down here. I call it woofy, thick, throaty, swallowed, or even ghosty sounds. And some of those sounds, there's a variety and they do sound different, but here's an example of something that sounds like fake head voice muscles. Now notice how this singer is really trying to sing with dark muscles, but because there's constrictions, it ends up sounding more swallowed rather than clear. I want to make sure to take some time to talk about if you are having these muscular imbalances in your voice and you sound a certain way, but you want to sound stronger, to give you some ideas of how to start doing that. But before I do that, I just want to clarify that this is just one way to start thinking about these things. There's lots of different words, and there's definitely some nuance that can be used in this conversation. So if you talk about this in a different way, that's totally great, as long as you're progressing toward that sound where you have that really strong balance, release, chiaroscuro sound. That's really what we're going for. So this is not the only way to think about this, and there are definitely somebody might listen to this conversation and be like, oh, that really resonates with me. These words are exactly what I need to hear. And somebody else might be like, well, that word doesn't really resonate with me. That's totally fine. These are not the only words that we can use. This is just a possible framework that might be helpful for you as a singer.